We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Oh, hello guys. Welcome to Pod Maverick Presents Group Therapy. This is where we all drink hot dog water live and complain about how awful that loss was to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where the Mavericks fell 100-96. If you're listening on an audio stream and you haven't heard Josh and I's recap show, please go ahead and do so. I decided to yell about Luka for about 4 minutes straight. I'm sure that's going to get clipped by people who hate me. Really look forward to that. And then we talked about just the various ways in which the Mavericks lost this game. So if you're new to the show here, got some takes you want to get off, there's a link in the YouTube comments on it's a StreamYard link that you can click. You can join from your show, or I'm sorry, you can join from your phone, you can join from your computer, and we'll kind of get some of these feelings out of our system and try to clear it out before the Mavericks face the Thunder again in Oklahoma City on Wednesday for Game 5. All right, we got multiple people waiting already, and I'm just going to go in order because I recognize all the names. Brian's coming up first. What's going on, Brian?
Nothing much. Just, I'm not nearly as upset, probably because I watched this game with some friends, as I ordinarily would be after a performance like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this ain't gonna take too long, but I just want to preface it by saying this: Luka is still one of the best players we've ever seen.
Sure.
He's still one of the best playoff performers we've ever seen. Kyrie is still one of the best playoff performers we've ever seen, especially in the clutch. But those two guys let the entire team down. Mm-hmm. I feel like with Luka, look, man, the knee is clearly a bother, but that's affecting his jump shots. The knee didn't have anything to do with him touching the paint and forgetting how to play basketball as soon as he saw Chet. He wouldn't even get to the point in the paint where he's fully engaged Chet yet.
Yep.
Where he's in the 6 to 3 feet range. He'd be 10 feet, 2 feet below the free throw line. Chet's not near him yet. And he's immediately looking for something else to do with the ball other than shoot. And
right.
He had 3 turnovers in a row just off of plays like that.
Yep.
And that is kind of where the game was lost for him.
Can you believe we're sitting here saying Luka Doncic shoot the ball more? I mean, my single biggest beef with frenemy of the program, Matt Moore, is he's just tells me over and over that he thinks Luka's like Harden and wants to score. And I think there are times, but hasn't happened in this series. I mean, it's some of the just real difficult for me. Did you hear any of my screaming in the first show?
I got the latter part of it.
Okay, so basically what I think Luka is so dead set on trying to get Dort into foul trouble that he's not fucking playing basketball.
Sure, there's definitely some of that going on.
Because they're like he gets doored on his back hip, and he thinks it's October, and he thinks he's going to get that call, and the NBA does not call that anymore. They do not call it. So he needs to keep going in the lane, go at Chet, and put his 190-pound ass into the stanchion.
Yeah, I was saying earlier in the game, Luka, dude, you're 250 pounds. Chet can't stay in front of you.
I'm 250 pounds. Let's be come on.
I'm
There's no way.
I'm being generous with man. That dude is at last measure. They told us 6'7", 225. I never believed that. He's like 6'8", 255-ish. Maybe I don't believe 260, not just yet. But well, right now he might be, but when he was slimmer, no. But yeah, so we were between that with Luka just not wanting to go all the way to the rim and like test Chet really. Or so what they were doing earlier in the game, he and Kyrie both, they were engaging Chet and stringing it out for one more dribble to give whoever set the pick for them, the roller, time to get down close to the rim, and they were throwing that lob, and it was working for a bit.
It was working, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it wasn't. It's like, well, it's because there's no threat of you to actually score once you see him. If they just cut off the roller and they send help in early from the corner, if you can't get the ball out to the corner, and that's how Luka got a lot of those turnovers, he would get like to 8 feet. Chet would be like 3 feet from him. So he had space to shoot, but he's seeing them peeling from the corner early to help with the roller. He's like, oh, I've got a corner shoot over there. Brother, the rim is right there. Shoot the ball. So there's that. And then there's Kyrie doing a Bob Cousy impression for the entire game. And then, like, with 6 minutes left saying, oh, maybe I should score. And the shot that usually gets him going, that transition pull-up, he took it contested, and Casey Wallace managed to block it.
Great block.
He was just, that was an incredible play from Casey Wallace. But then Kyrie just decided after that, oh, I guess I just am not scoring tonight. And it was like, well, okay, so PJ carried us offensively in the first half again. And
but PJ gets like so this is a weird thing, and I maybe this is just me being an asshole, but I think PJ gets points on the board and he realizes how many points he has, and then his ass starts to tighten up where he's like, oh no, I might keep doing this. And then and then he slowly dies. Like his efficiency manages to get worse as the game goes along. I don't understand how that is.
Well, he hit 5 threes in the first half and he hit none in the second half. And it's probably because he was expecting to get some help. He wasn't expecting to be the leading scorer.
That's true.
He wasn't expecting to be the leading scorer for the game. Derrick Jones Jr. wasn't expecting to be like the third leading scorer. They like that's not what they're supposed to be doing. We got 2 really good games from them. PJ faded down the stretch of this game, sure. But even in the second half, when he got the ball and Shea was on him, he was putting his ass into him and making him work as much as he could defensively.
They only went to the PJ post up like twice, and I don't understand that.
In a normal game, I would understand it. In this game, I don't understand it. The other thing I didn't understand was us finally getting the offensive XM game we've been looking for, and him only playing 5 minutes when Tim played 22 and Josh only playing 13 also confused me because I thought he was really good tonight too. This isn't even like a Tim thing really. It's just he wasn't all that impactful tonight. So I feel like 22 minutes was too high. Just for me personally. And again, that circle of 3 players, I mean, I guess in a game where we only lost by like 4 or 5 or whatever, it matters, but it doesn't really matter if our stars like are even regular bad. Like, and it sucks. I thought Kyrie was good for most of the game. Like, I thought that even if he wasn't getting field goal attempts up, he was playing within the flow of the offense and he was making good decisions. He was making correct decisions, justifiable decisions. And I was like, okay, we can live with this result as long as he knows what time it is in the second half. And he did not know what time it was in the second half. And that stretch at the end of the third and going into the beginning of the fourth, where Shea just walked down and scored like 7 out of 9 straight possessions.
Really, wow.
And we didn't have
a performance.
Yeah, and we didn't have any answers for that. That was the game.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks for kicking us off. You got anything else before we get out of Dodge?
No, man. Just look. you can be mad at the team all you want. Just remember who the players are that you're talking about when you get on Twitter and you want to tweet very mean things about Luka and Kyrie, because I definitely did so as well. Just
I
remember who
said
you're
my
talking
really
about.
mean things. I said my
Yeah, but,
really mean things. I feel okay
and
about
that's
that.
fine. Just look, man. It's a 2-2 series. Now we've potentially got 2 OKC games if this goes 7, but it's 2-2, and we still have a chance to close this out in 6 or 7. So I'm not too concerned. The defense was amazing, and it's going to continue to be so.
I hope so. All right, Brian, talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have got a lot of people in here, which is it's been a while since we've had this many people waiting to chat. So those of you who are waiting to chat, just give me a second. I'll try to get to everybody as fast as possible. I got some names I don't recognize, but I'm gonna keep going. All right, Zach, what do you got for us tonight, man?
Hey, Kirk. A little bummed, but I'm actually I understand your rage. Like, I think Zach of a couple years ago would have been raged the way you were. Just the way we lost. Like, I was thinking if we lose this game, it's going to be painful.
Sure.
When we were leading, I don't remember the last time I was that pissed at Luka. And I was mad after game 1 because I was trying to compare it to game 1. But game 1, there was actually reasonable, I think, injury excuse, even if he was embellishing. I almost blew a gasket when Chet made that 3. And I guess Luka got hurt.
He did. He got up and he did a little hand wave challenge.
That really upset me. Like that deeply, because I have friends who are Suns fans and some friends who are Thunder fans who give me all the shit about Luka, and even though I'm critical of Luka, I'm always having to defend him because you know how it is, people embellish. But that was that's what people the stuff people embellish about that isn't actually real. When he wasn't actually I don't know if he was even that hurt, but what I was going to say is missing the 2 free throws is inexcusable. And all I want to say is I know it's 2-2. I'm not trying to be too doomer, and I won't be surprised if we win the series. But 4 games in, PJ has been amazing. We got productive games from Tim Hardaway. Even Exum showed up a little bit tonight. If for some reason we lose this series and Luka and Kyrie are all world the next 2 to 3 games that we still lose, and the reason we lose is because either our role players go cold or OKC has insane shooting, good shooting. Even if Luka and Kyrie turn on these next 2-3 games, we have nobody to blame.
Sure.
Then because the role players with how well they played, it's not even they did their jobs. This should be 3-1.
It should be.
It should be 3-1, especially with the extent to which PJ has performed. PJ, I hope this doesn't happen, but if for some reason PJ goes 2 for 11 the next game, each of the next 2 games, and we lose by a couple points and Luka and Kyrie are dropping 40 and 30, you know what? I'm not going to be any less upset with them because they waited 4 games into the series. And so, honestly, it's a put up or shut up time. I know it's 2-2, and there's actually no excuses at this point.
This is the second series in a row they've lost the opportunity in game 4 to take control.
I'm in group text people that are I'm concerned. I think we might win. But Zach, what have the Thunder done in the past to prove that they can perform, that they can close this out? I was well, nothing. But we are just finished game 10 of the playoffs with Luka, and it is the 9th consecutive game where I have been okay, Luka, it's time to turn it on, and he hasn't.
It's not just turning it on, though. It's an understanding of limitations. So it's one of 2 things has to be true here. It's he's either injured and he's not playing to his best, in which case he needs to change how he's performing, or he's not hurt, or he's capable to play through it, what I actually think from tonight. And tonight he was just bad. He was bad, and I wrote about it and I screamed about it, and there's really no other way around that other than to say you dumped all over yourself after a really good defensive performance. He played good defense. I'd be curious as to some of the Thunder fans hanging out in the chat as to if they thought he played pretty good defense in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, I agree with you. I said after game, so where I was mad at him, and like I said, I was really mad at him at game 1 when he played so horrendous. And my thinking was, okay, you are hurt, Luka. You just went through 3 games of the same injury the previous series, and you know your 3-pointer is shot. It's one thing if you are healthy and in a shooting slump and you just have to gut through it. But when you are physically hampered and you cannot get the lift on the shot, that's not, I just got to snap out of it. Like what we've seen happen with PJ. PJ kept shooting and now it's back. Luka, you can't get the lift. So stop fucking shooting it.
But see, it's not just that though, man. He was 2 of 7 in the restricted area. He's missing shots. He's missing shots within 10 feet.
That's because Dort is so under his skin. He's looking to get.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
Because I'm watching this like so clear. I'm like, Luka, just focus on putting the ball in the basket. He has an eye on Dort all the time, even when Dort has no impact on the play. Yep. Yeah, I think earlier, I think you said this that Luka is maybe more focused on picking up a foul. It's so evident, and he's obviously complains a lot, but it is like it has reached the point he complains, but it is involuntary. Like immediately, it is foul or review or everything, and I get it. But I would like, as like the guy who should be the leader of the team. My last point is like the Mavs won the title when I was 14 years old. And since then, it's just been year after year of me seeing title teams come up. And eventually what happens, you realize is like the teams that are built for it are built for it. And they don't let opportunities slip away. They get luck, but their star player especially like gets the job done. And look, I'm fine when Luka's complaining when he's dropping a 30-point triple-double and we're winning. But if you're complaining and you're falling down, embellishing an injury, and then you're giving Chet a wide-open 3-point shot, I'm going to be pissed. And then after all of that, and after all that, you're gifted with the opportunity. You get a marginal foul call, and all you have to do is make 2 free throws where you don't jump on your free throws, and then that happens. It's why I was just like, we don't deserve to win the game. In SGA, I was like, this is what it used to feel like watching Luka in the playoffs. That the confidence Thunder fans must have right now when SGA has the ball in his hands. That shot when he hit it over the backboard, fading out of bounds, I was just in awe. So I guess my only question for you is, how do you think the rest of this series shakes out? How much of this is just overreaction, and like, what do you actually think is going to happen the rest of this series?
I don't know. This is very much put up or shut up time for Luka.
I mean, aren't we already past that? Like, I would have thought the shut up was like today.
No, because it's 2-2 and they go back into, you get multiple chances in the NBA. You get multiple chances, and he has to be better. And I expect that he likely will be better, or at least more aggressive. Yeah.
Why? Like, why do you expect? Like, maybe that's where I'm. Why do you expect that? I don't expect that anymore.
Why? I mean, he sees tape, and if he's moving like he's moving tonight, there's going to be things where he can see it, and he'll just go attack more. I do believe that. There are elements of the game plan here, so that's where I'm settling, and I think he'll have the opportunity. He'll take some more shots. I cannot believe that we spent a significant portion, Josh and I did in our previous show, talking about how we wish Luka would have taken more shots. That's not been the case some series, in some games. But he needs to, if he's going to get where he was getting tonight, he needs to take more attempts. He just does, and stop passing out too much.
And it is, in my opinion, it is more Luka. Yes, Kai needs to be better. At the very least, Kyrie. Like he's making very impactful non-scoring plays early in the game.
He was in the first half. In the fourth quarter, he was invisible.
Agreed. But whereas Luka, I feel like barely did anything offensively the whole game. And I would like to just see a little bit more aggression from Kyrie sooner. And yeah, I was really happy with the Exum minutes initially. But Thunder shot 25% from 3.
Yep.
And they beat us. And they are the number 2 percentage shooting team in the league from 3. So, yeah, Thanks for giving the space.
Of course,
to vent.
man.
Needed
All right.
this. Appreciate it.
Talk soon. All right.
Peace.
All right, coming up next, we got my guy Simon. It's late on that East Coast, so we're gonna let him go. We're gonna let him come up so he can go to sleep. Hey, man.
Can you hear me, Kirk?
I can. What do you got for us?
Okay.
We got a lot. Somehow we got a lot of people in there.
I know.
That.
Yeah. So first of all, like you astutely pointed out that I was getting on the elevator on the last show, and it's like kind of in that dead zone where the Wi-Fi kind of cuts out before you get onto the cellular network. So that's kind of when I cut out. I did not go to Dan's Cafe. But next time I go to DC, I'll make a pit stop for you, and I'll put one back for you. Anyway, let's talk about tonight. So I want to I guess we'll start with the smaller points, then we'll hit on the bigger points. I think for the Mavericks defensively, I think they're playing very connected on defense right now, in my opinion, right? And the SGA game, I mean, what can you do, right? But I think part of that was, the Mavericks were so committed to walling off the paint, which they did. They were committed to making sure that the other, running the other Thunder role players off the 3-point line and sort of conceding the 3-pointers to Giddey and Dort and their weaker shooters, and they executed that pretty well. So really the only thing OKC had for them going offensively was Shea's mid-range game. And, he made him pay. I mean, because he's a great player and he doesn't bullshit. When he has a clearing, he just goes there and just goes right up and shoots it. And he's perfected his mechanics to the point where that's a consistent shot for him. When he has a drive to the basket, he goes all the way. When he has an 8-footer, he just, he's got a high release point. He fades back a little bit. Obviously he's quick and he's shifty, and so he can create the separation consistently. And when he's making it, he's tough to deal with. So you just got to give him credit. And I don't think there was anything schematically that the Mavericks did wrong defensively. I thought they actually played a great defensive game.
Their game plan was there. They had it. The Thunder shot 38% from the floor.
Right. So there's that. And I see a lot of comments, just scrolling Twitter and whatnot, and hearing some of the, the guys that came on previously even. But, I see a lot of like what the trend on Twitter was Kyrie and Luka. I don't think Kyrie played a horrible game tonight.
No. It's the two of them together scoring like 12 points sucks. Like I was much less frustrated with Kyrie.
Kyrie played a pretty damn good floor game. I mean, in the fourth quarter, he had two mid-range shots that he usually makes that sort of rimmed out. And I mean, it's a make or miss league as they like to say. But Kyrie always he's pretty stoic. He keeps the ball, he keeps the ball moving when he gets it. He comes off the screen, he attacks, he looks for the dish off. I think he had 9 assists and 1 turnover. So overall, I mean, and overall, A, he's not the problem. B, he's the second best player on the team. He's not the soon to be, 5-time first team All NBA. Now to get to Luka, but before I get to Luka, you and Josh, you guys talk a lot about Jason Kidd, and for the most part, I agree with you guys. But I think one area where Kidd has to be given credit is the fact, I don't know if he's like the Kyrie whisperer, but basically since Kyrie's been in Dallas for a year and a half, now, there hasn't been any bullshit.
No, he's been anything I could. He's been everything I could have wanted and more as a player. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know how much credit you want to give Jason Kidd for that.
A lot. I mean, if Kidd deserves a lot of credit for the environment. He's happy with the environment.
And I know that there was the whole thing. Kyrie grew up in New Jersey. Jason Kidd was the Nets point guard back.
I think the challenge to the environment has to come from, it's like, if Luka's content enough without being challenged more regularly, and maybe Kyrie to an extent too, I think that can be the flip side of being very close professionally. Because I mean, again, these guys are not superior; they're equals, and Kidd just happens to coach the team. So I think he's done well.
And you kind of led into the point that I was making where, and the Mavericks were in a kind of a very unique situation with Luka these past 6 years or however long they've had him, where, there was sort of moribund when they drafted him, and then he comes in and immediately lights the league on fire. But I think a byproduct of that is, and I don't know if this is necessarily Kidd's fault because he wasn't there for the first 3 years, but Luka has not kicked his bad habits, and B, if anything, that they've gotten worse and they compound when he doesn't play well.
Yeah.
Like the whining to the officials is one thing. Like it bothers me a little bit, but it bothers me a lot more when he does it while the play is still going on.
Yep. Live ball stuff for sure.
Live ball stuff where he turns it over, or he thinks he gets hit on the arm, and a lot of times he doesn't. He just gets stripped, and then he looks to the official, and then boom, the Thunder are going the other way. Now, I mean, I've been talking about it all year. I think I came on like after the first 7 games or 8 games or something like that. It's like he just doesn't attack the rim anymore. I mean, the first 2 Clippers series, he got to the rim at will all the time in the paint, 3-foot shots and ones. I mean, you brought up the stat that he was 2 of 7 in the restricted area, but how many of those were actual? I mean, most of them were 3 to 5 foot floaters. They weren't real lay. I don't know if he actually shot a layup in this game. So the one area where I'd kind of push back on you and Josh is not that he needs to shoot more. It's that it's his shot distribution. The 3-pointers that he's taking, I mean, 9 3-pointers is not an excessive number. That's probably about what he's averaged on the season, but it's the 3-pointers that he's taking where Dort is right up under him and he has no separation. Because usually, like I've said, he gets separation on his 3-pointer because the opponent fears the drive, and that's how he there was one play in the fourth quarter, and this was a good play from him where I think it was the last field goal he had, but he had the ball in the backcourt and he actually drove the ball with purpose and then stepped back to the mid-range, and he had space and he knocked it down. That's what he's not doing enough. And at this point, I don't know how much of that really I can ascribe to injury. I mean, he seems to be moving fine, but his decision making at this point is just awful. I mean, there was one in the third quarter where he got caught up in the air and threw it to nobody, threw it out of bounds. I mean, it's perplexing to watch, and the frustrating part is that in the previous times that the Mavericks had made the playoffs, especially the first 2 times when they played the Clippers, they needed Luka to play at 1.25x for them to even be competitive, and for the most part, he did that. At this point, everybody else on the team, in my opinion, is doing what you would want them to do. PJ Washington is making threes. Derek Jones, I think, went 5 for whatever tonight. I mean, he shot over 50%. I mean, you would wish Lively would finish more of the bunnies, and that's another conversation. And you and Josh do a great show. I mean, you do, and I listen to you guys now. I usually don't listen until the next day because I don't want anything that you guys say to inform what what I'm going to say. I just want to.
I agree with that. I appreciate. I would totally. I totally understand that.
And have my own takes, but it's Luka doesn't even need to play over his head. He just needs to play like Luka Doncic. That's it. That he just needs to come. He just needs to statistically be in the 30 to 35, shoot around 50%, make 4 of 10 threes or 3 of 8 or whatever, and play an efficient game, make good decisions. When he gets trapped at half court, move the ball. And I mean, if he does that, why can't this team? Oh God, I don't really want to get ahead of myself.
I get you, man.
This team, they can win a. There's no.
I agree.
There's no 2017 Warriors in this playoff field. So that's what makes it frustrating, because it seems to me that they have the pieces, especially defensively, to where if he just plays to his regular level, not above his regular level, but just to his regular level in the style that he plays. I mean, because sometimes you're gonna miss shots. I mean, there were a few games I can remember. I think one in particular was the Boston game at home. He shot it poorly, but that, and I remember that game, and I'm thinking he played pretty well. He took good shots. He was aggressive. He just didn't make shots. And if that happens, then okay, you can live. I mean, that's just the nature of basketball. But just to watch, 10 games of this in a row now. I mean, he's
been
really
like 8 of the 10, but I know what you mean.
He's had really one Luka game, which was Game 5 versus the Clippers. And what I was trying to say before I got cut off on the last show is like I keep watching these games and I keep waiting for that Luka Doncic game, and It just like but unfortunately, like the longer this goes on, the more you figure that it's just not going to happen. Like this is the player that he is for these playoffs, and until he either A, gets healthy, or B, like does some self-reflection and makes adjustments to the way he plays. I mean, this is just going to be it, and he might have a game where game 2 where he comes out and makes 4 threes in the first quarter and kind of goes from there. But I mean, in order for him to do that, he's got to present more of. I'm not the only person to say this. He has to present more of a threat to drive all the way into the paint, and then build off of that. Because once he does that, the 3-pointers are going to be better looks for him.
Sure.
So,
Simon, thanks for hanging out late with us.
Really, all I got. But thanks for having me on again.
All right.
Always pleasure.
Talk soon.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
All right, Henry, sorry to make you wait. What's going on? Henry,
here we go. Here we go. Here. All right. I don't really have too much. Sorry about that. It was on my end. I really don't have too much, man. I'm sorry about that. I will be silent on Kyrie moving forward. I don't know what the fuck that was, my guy. That was quite disgusting. He tried to turn it on in half. He couldn't do it because he was cold all game, and I mean, it was gross. I really don't know what to say. And again, and normally, you know me, me and you we were chief and CEO of Fire the Kid, get him the hell out of town. But I can't even put this one on Kid, man. Kyrie just doesn't look involved. He doesn't.
Did you see the stat that in the final 7 minutes of regulation, Kyrie and Luka combined for 1 point, and it was that Luka free throw?
That's disgusting.
I mean, like, how do you not? There's got to be an easy button play for one of these two that they go to at a key moment, and they just don't use them that way. And I don't understand it. Like, I didn't necessarily think the Maverick offense was that. Like, the process was a little bit frustrating, but it is a little too deferential with certain guys getting looks. But it's just at a certain point, and Kyrie even has mentioned this, where he's like, yeah, one of the coaches will say to me, I waited too long to go.
And he waited even longer this game.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand that.
I think the only consistent one that I saw was Luka. He would come across, and then Luka would post up, and then Kyrie would be like a pass away. I think that was the only thing they consistently ran to like give him a good shot without him having to bulldoze through Lou Dortz. So I think they should do that repeatedly. But also, if Jeremy's still in the chat, Jeremy, make sure you donate to support Mavericks podcasters and streamers, man. Come on, man. Donate, my guy. Donate with your money, man. Tell me what I need to do with my money, and I'll do it again. So, Jeremy, if you're up here, donate again and come up here in the chat. Otherwise, shut the hell up. All right, I'm out.
Be good, man. Talk soon. All right. Coming up next is Sam. Sam, welcome to the show. Oh, no, sorry. Tamin, welcome to the show. I clicked the wrong name. My bad, man. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Kirk.
Welcome back to the show. How are you tonight?
Oh, you remember me. Good.
I do.
Yeah, good. Actually, it's not tonight. It's
Early
now
morning.
8:51 a.m. here.
What a rough start to your day. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I had to wake up 4 a.m. just to watch the game. So I think you and some people being a little harsh on Luka. I know I don't want to be Luka fan right now, but I said to a friend earlier today that Luka does not deserve this team. He is so bad in these playoffs. But yeah, I really think that. But the thing is, Luka heading into the playoffs and the last stretch of the regular season, he was tired. I think he is second in the minutes per game
Yes.
in the regular season, and it's a really heavy minutes. You can say that, but and do you remember the stretch where where Kyrie and Dante Exum went out? He was playing like 45 minutes a game.
Yep.
So he was even bad before the knee injury.
I like it. I don't know if I fully agree, but I do agree that he was tired by the end of the season. That's why getting out of the play-in was so important, because the Mavericks were pretty ground down. He wasn't necessarily injured as much as he was just tired, and you could certainly see that.
Yes.
And then when you're tired, you make mistakes.
Even you can see it by the drives number and the at-rim field goal attempts. I think the attempt is now half on what it was at the regular season at-rim attempts. So, and this is a reason why he's checking three, and this is a reason why he is so bad and frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not mad if a player taking 22 shots and maybe making 4. So you're just not making them. But Kyrie only took 11 shots, and I think this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm okay if you take 25 shots and make 4, but this is unacceptable if you take 11. And the thing about this Mavericks team, they don't have a lot of sources of offense. Their offense only comes from Kyrie and Luka. So if you are a little too passive, I think this hurts the team more than you think.
Absolutely. No, I mean, PJ can do things from time to time, but I think he works best being set up by Luka and Kyrie.
Yes. I don't think PJ taking 19 and posting up Shai a lot is a good formula to win. But I think the Mavs are in a good position, but I'm afraid that they got the Thunder that now got the momentum of the series.
Yeah,
so
it's best of 3 now with 2 games in Oklahoma City. So this is tough.
Yeah, I think they can win. The Mavericks can win in 6. So
I appreciate that level of faith.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for hanging out. Have a better day.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next is Sam. Sam, welcome to the show. Sorry about that last time. I am bad at clicking buttons, apparently.
Oh, it's all good. Sam, Tam, it's all the same. We all got different names, so it's all good.
This is a throwback, Sam. You've not been in here in a while. How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can. You sound good.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been just watching from the sidelines, but I enjoy what you and Josh do. So I'm always watching. I'll be quick again, but do you realize in the Luka era, when they've had a chance to go up 3-1, they've lost every game, and it's been by horrible circumstances.
Yes.
The Clippers in 2021, they got blown out. Jazz in 2022, they obviously had like the missed free throws, and then Rudy Gobert hitting the shot. And then this year had a chance to go up, and they were down 31, almost won it. And now this one where they had control literally the whole game, and then they just blew it. So it's kind of one of those things where I look at it like, I don't know again, I'm not going to blame Jason Kidd. I don't think it's a Jason Kidd thing, but I don't know if it's something where they don't understand like the moment, because if you look at it, you go up 3-1, it's over, in my opinion. I think they're done.
Yeah.
And if you win game 5, I think Minnesota and Denver is going to go at least 6 or 7. There's a chance to get a week off right there. And Luka can get rest. Kyrie can get rest. You can just, recover and regroup and get ready for the Western Conference Finals. And you just let an awesome situation just slip away. Now you're having to put in more effort just to try to not go down 3-2 and having to, maybe fight for a game 6 or a game 7.
Yeah.
So, again, Luka, for all the Luka stands out there, listen, I love the guy, but you got to be a realist.
I don't think anybody's really happy with Luka. I look, there's like even the people that in the chat are being kind of sassy right now, and you can see it online. Like, I don't think anybody's happy with him.
Yeah, he has to be better, and I'll give him this. When he said he has to be better, he usually comes out the next game and performs better.
I agree.
I mean, the game 4 against the Clippers, he needed to help Kyrie, and then game 5 he balled out. Game 1, he was bad against the Thunder. Game 2, he came and balled out. So I think, now that's the key word, think at this point. I think he will come out and play better. Now, will it be better enough for them to win? I don't know at this point, because I think they blew their chance to really take control of the series.
I mean, this is a team that has the mental fortitude to go into a very hostile Oklahoma City environment and perform. That part I'm at least very interested in. This is a team of dogs. And just like the Thunder are I think a lot of their guys are mentally tough enough. I mean, the Dallas crowd sucked ass tonight. Like, that's one of the worst playoff crowds I've seen them have in a long time. But the game was so like bleh, there wasn't it was an odd one. But I'm looking forward to seeing if these Mavericks can respond. I mean, I'm going to be thinking about this game a long time if they lose the series.
Yeah, and even with the crowd part, I think what it was because I think I had the same feeling just watching it at my brother-in-law's house. It was just kind of the feeling like, man, we should be up by like 15 or 20, and we're only up by 8. We're only up by 7. We're only up by 6. And every time you thought they might pull away, the Thunder would cut it to 5. They would cut it to 4. Then it'll be 7 again. You're like, okay, we're going to start pulling away. And it just never happened. Like, even the fourth, when they were up by 4, you get a layup, you get an alley-oop from Derrick Jones, you're up by 8. You're like, okay, we settled it. We're good. We're going to just hold them off. We're not playing great. We're still going to win. It just never happened until finally when Chet hit that 3, you said, okay, it's done.
Yep.
Like, you didn't even think, like, even when they cut it to 1, you're like, okay, Luka, they cut it to 2, and then
Luka, yeah. I still thought Shai would have hit the final shot if Luka had tied it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going to lose a game winner anyway, so you just never feel like they're going to come back. So it is what it is. It's best of 3. Like, am I concerned? I don't want to say no, because I think out of these 4 games, besides game 1, we've been the better team. It's just,
I mean, they're much better in terms of. I think the Thunder have more kind of top to bottom talent, but the way the Mavericks have played connected defense and look dominating for stretches, I think the Mavericks have played better. So that their 2-2 is stupid.
Yeah, it's Shai doing Shai things. Because I mean, to be honest, besides he's really doing what he's done in the regular season. I mean, for the most part,
he's great.
He's fine. It's if Luka's just he averaged 30, 34 in the regular season. If he's average, we win the game. Like, that's the crazy part. If he's just average, we win the game. And that's with Kyrie not even shooting the ball. If he's average, the Mavericks win the game. That's it.
Yeah.
So Kyrie, he's still getting his bail too. You got to shoot the ball, man. Come on, dog. Just shoot the ball, bro. Like
Case and Wallace block fucked with him. I really believe that.
It did. And again, hey, you're going to have bad games. It does happen. But, like, Kyrie, like, this not making shots in the first half, got to stop, man. Like, at least, I'm not saying go 10 for 10 like Aaron Gordon did the other day. But, like, bro, like, 10 points. Give me double figures in this first half. At least something, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it's 2 out of 3. You win game 5, do what you did against the Clippers. Win game 5, come home, finish it off in 6, and well, I'll be happy and forget this game ever happened. So that's all I got.
Thanks for hanging out, Sam. Talk later. All right. News. Welcome to the show. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yo, how you doing?
I am shockingly awake for 1 a.m. I think I'm just still pissed off.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. I live in Indiana, but
The East Coast state that doesn't make sense to me, where the sun doesn't go down until 10 p.m. in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I turned a Mavericks fan. I was actually done watching the NBA till Luka came in, so I've been a Mavs fan since then. But about this game, man, I heard everybody saying, Kyrie could have shot more, Luka could have been average, because all those things are true. But I still feel like this game was lost at the free throw line, and the refereeing was ridiculous. The second quarter, it's like 7 minutes left, and they were in the bonus with 7 minutes in the second quarter. And that's what when we made it out of that, I was like, okay, at least we made it out of that, because I was worried then. I was like, okay, if we're in the bonus 7 minutes, they're going to go up, but we still squeezed out of there with the lead. Like I said, we still had control of the whole game, but the free throws, shooting under 50% is really what lost it. So Luka under average, Kyrie not shooting, we still should have won that game if, as a team, we shot 57%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's 2 free throws. Like, it's 1 free throw in certain circumstances. It depends on how you really want to look at this. Like, I was losing my mind.
And same with Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie's a 90% free throw all season, and I feel even the Clippers series, it was missing free throws. Just like it's like it used to be automatic. Now I'm like with Luka, it's never automatic with Luka, but with Kyrie, I was always like, okay, nothing to worry about. But he's even been missing free throws lately. And like you said, I don't know if it's the rhythm, like what kind of game he's playing inside of the game. You know what I mean? Like you said. Yeah. The coach told me it's too late, or like, are you playing? Is the game so boring? Are you you know what I mean? Are you so bored with this game that you're playing another game inside the game?
Right.
I don't know, but I still think that they can still beat it. But like the homie said before this, it would have bought them a lot of time, and it just would have been better instead of going through this next 2 games and traveling back and forth and all that.
Yeah, I really, and I like very selfishly wanted them to win in 5 games because I have something I have to do on Saturday, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do this show on Saturday, which kills me because I work my life around this show, and it's just a tough one. But I don't really have too much of a problem with the refs, and insofar as I mentioned earlier, Dort has 21 fouls through 4 games. Through 4 games, he only has 26 or 24. He has 24 available, so he's 3 short of fouling out total. The refs aren't going to foul him out. The refs don't want to foul him out. So Luka needs to play through that and understand it and work around it. The refs didn't want to foul Kyrie out when Kyrie had 5 fouls. It's not something these guys want to do. And so I need Luka to just play through it and score more and stop worrying so much about it.
And like I know somebody else called earlier about taking defense for Luka, because like I said, if you're a Luka fan, you get all the same. Everybody's here and saying the same things to you. And my defense with Luka is because I feel like it's not just Luka. There's a lot of, before the game started, there was a 1 point. It was a 1 point spread on the game, right? We were, like I said, we were blasting them, and even when we were up 14, it felt like from the missed free throws, we should have been up 22. You know what I mean? But it just felt like there's times in the game where they're not calling fouls after foul after. I'm watching the game on TV when Derek Lively goes, I heard the slap on my TV.
That's funny.
And the refs
but then Kyrie got free throws in the next one, and Kyrie missed one of the 2. And so it's like
exactly.
It was rough. The free throws are the literal reason why the Mavericks lost. The way Luka and Kyrie played end up being kind of the more tangible, frustrating reason as to why they lost over. Not tangible. The more just sort of, if you're discussing basketball high level when you want your stars to perform.
Right. No, I agree with that. I do agree with that 100%. Like you said, the main one is that. One last thing before I let you go, man. With the Kyrie not shooting the ball, if everybody like he's getting doubled probably 90% of the game every time. There was sorry, excuse my language. What's so curious to me is that even though he's not scoring, OKC is still on him like he's going to score. That's what's puzzling me. So I wonder if he's waiting for them just to break down, because that's why I feel like this game, where if we'd have won this game, they'd have broke down and they would have changed everything that they were doing, and we would have been ready for a Kyrie again, because they're worried about Kyrie going off, and he's only scoring 6 points a game or something like that, and it's just the way that it's wild, man. I don't know. Also, the pick and roll, we stopped going to that. I feel like Derek Lively and Gaffer were dominating down low, and we just stopped going to that.
Well, the Thunder adjusted to a certain extent. I also think Luka pulled back on his attacks because he was seeking out the Dort contact. And so there's a couple of, but There's a lot of reasons why the offense went to hell. And hopefully they look at the film and figure out some ways to get easier baskets, because they only scored, I think, like 37 points in the second half. That's not good enough.
Right.
So
You're right, man. Well, I thank you, man, for letting me get on the show, man. I watch it all the time. It's my first time being on the mic, though.
of course, hope you come back. Thanks for joining us.
Definitely, thank you.
All right. Last but not least, we got Rain calling in from the other hemisphere. How you doing today, Rain?
I'm doing all right. Not as bad as the other bloke who had to wake up at 4 a.m. for this shithole, but
that's right.
It's a whole day to have to deal with this bullshit.
Right.
It's hard to have any new thoughts or ideas after everyone else has gone on, but this, as mad as I am, this feels more like a game that the Mavs lost rather than OKC won. Between all the free throws and all, just the utter bullshit from everybody. Like, I just want to have my little rant about this. Normally, I'm okay with Luka doing this, where he will dribble past, he'll blow by, and then he'll pause for a second, a dribble or two to let the defender catch up, get on his hip so he could draw the foul. But the number of times that he did this today and then threw a pass that led to a turnover, or what would you call it out and say what it is, flopped and didn't get the call, it's absolutely infuriating. And I'll give him the pass on the 3-point shooting. I understand he takes them to try and keep the defense honest, but he could half them, you know. And besides this game, he's been shooting pretty efficiently from inside the arc.
Luka? Not in the Thunder series.
They're not super inefficient.
I mean, he was 2 of 7 in the restricted area tonight.
Tonight it was terrible. But maybe this is...
He's had better games. He's had game 5 against the Clip. I know what shots you're thinking about. He killed Russell Westbrook on a lot of like 15-foot kind of like kind of Dirk Nowitzki type shots. He's had better games. He's still been pretty dreadful overall.
Okay. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong then.
No, because some of the shots look good, and when they look good, they look great. They feel great.
And they do feel great. And it's and then what was it? The third quarter, they were in the bonus fairly early on in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. There was a quarter where they were in the bonus pretty early, and they didn't take advantage of that. And that's something I've noticed this team never does. They get in the bonus, and they just decide that this is the time for them to shoot shots from outside. Like, why are we not driving to the back? Why are we not spamming, even if they're not shooting it well? Why are we not spamming pick and rolls just to get someone inside the paint so we can get those free throws going? Not that it probably would have mattered in this game if they only shot 50% of them, but overall for the series, pray PJ can keep playing at the level he's playing. Hope Kyrie and Luka can improve and play more up to their standards. Like, Kyrie was getting foul. He had 5 fouls in the first half, basically. So I can understand he doesn't want to be too aggressive. He's thus makes him more of a liability on defense. But this is a series they can clearly win. Like you've said before, if OKC decides to take Giddey out of the rotation and swap him with like a Case and Wallace with better defense and apparently much better shooting, I would probably be a lot more afraid of the games coming ahead. But I don't think I'm from this game going into any game fearing that they don't have a chance to win. I'm just, are they going to drop the ball? And in this game, They dropped the fucking ball.
I think that's true. Very much so. I'm dreadful that we're just going to be thinking about this game all summer.
That's all I've got. Thanks, Kirk. Thanks for doing
Talk
this.
soon. All right, everybody. Hope you feel better. Maybe you might feel worse. You never really know with one of these things. Thank you guys so much for hanging out in the chat for this long. Josh and I very much appreciate it. You guys know the drill. If you want to leave a comment on the video, I'd appreciate it. If you want to come subscribe to the show, we'd appreciate it. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Wednesday night is game 5. It should be an 8:30 start time, if I remember correctly, but I'll go check that out right now before we leave. What does ESPN tell me here? Wednesday night at 8:30 on TNT, following Indiana at New York. And then that will mean that game 6 is on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. We'll talk a little more during the week about what's going to happen on Saturday. I got to figure some stuff out. Josh and I do too. He and I both have something planned. It's very frustrating. Okay, guys, be good. Everybody have a pretty good week, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Go Mavs.